everybody. Welcome to Running Up the Hobby, episode 1. This isn't a podcast about $1 million cards, although they will be brought up. This is for the everyday collector trying to learn this hobby, make smart buys, and have fun doing it. I want you to feel comfortable asking questions, listening, trying to find out little odds and ends, things that people may not want to ask questions about. This is where you're going to find out here. And if I don't bring something up that you may not know of, just hit me up on the comments, DMs, whatever. I will make sure to bring it up on the next episode. What you're going to see here, at least in this first episode, I'm going to get you that roundabout knowledge of sports cards, the hobby as we call it. I want this to be a beginner-friendly podcast. Newcomers, beginners, guys that have been in it for a little while that still don't know all the odds and ends. I'm here to help you with that. I'm not one to say I'm an expert, because I'm not. When it comes to sports cards, I'm technically a newcomer as well. I've been in the hobby for about 6 years now, 5 or 6 years, I would say. I wanted a podcast where I can listen to just little things here and there that I can learn, because when I first got into the hobby, there wasn't many out there that I can just learn that lower end of knowledge that comes with the hobby. And I had to do my own research, but I want to be that research for these newcomers. I want to be that podcast that you can listen to where you can just sit back and say, all right, well, now I know what that means. All right, well, now I know what that means. Stuff like that. So I want to have like real collector conversations. I want to, hear who you're collecting. I want to hear who you're investing in. Who are you flipping right now? Do you want to be a flipper? Do you want to be an investor? Do you want to just be a personal collector? Or do you just like ripping? Whatever it is, this is the podcast to listen to. Why do people love this hobby? Nostalgia. You get to basically collect all your favorite players, all your favorite teams. There is potential profit. Everybody loves that. And also, the biggest thing is the community that we are, the hobby. Now, don't get me wrong. It can be a little intimidating. And that's why I'm making this podcast. Because don't get me wrong, it was a little intimidating when I first got into it. Especially, the first card show that I ever went to was the National. And if you're just getting into the hobby, if you're just, if you've never been to a card show before or whatever, the Super Bowl of card shows is the National. It's the Mac Daddy of them all. It's the card show that everybody wants to go to. It's a card show that you're going to go to and see things that you've never seen before. And that was the beauty of it. But I went into that first card show, being the National, not knowing a goddamn thing. Not knowing what I was going to do, not knowing how to barter with some of these guys, some of these vendors. So again, that's what I'm here for. I want to make the hobby less intimidating for newcomers, for people that are just getting in, for people that want to get in, etc. First off, who am I? My name's Jerry Napoleonello. I am the host of Running Up the Score, an NFL podcast, the NFL through a point of view of a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's great. Take a listen to it. But as I said before, I've been in this hobby for about 5 to 6 years. Coming into it again because, obviously I had cards back in the day when I was younger. But coming back into it, it was like fresh to me. I didn't know what to expect. I thought coming into it with a sports background, knowing what I know in terms of just sports knowledge, I thought this was easy, but it wasn't. Where when I came in, Trevor Lawrence cards were outperforming guys like Tom Brady or, just guys, veterans that are great players that you would think would be in as a high price, was getting outperformed by a quarterback that at the time never stepped up foot on an NFL field. So there was a lot that I had to get into. There was a lot that I had to research. And I did that. I listened to podcasts. I watched breaks, which I'll get into that if you don't know what breaks are. I did everything that I could do. Ripped my own. And at this point, I feel like I have a good stranglehold on the hobby. And therefore is the reason why I wanted to make this podcast, because I've gotten plenty of calls, plenty of comments, plenty of text messages of people that are just, hey, so and so's got these cards. They want you to look at it, see what they got. Hey, I got this card. Is this good? Hey, I found this. Is this good? I went to Target, grabbed this box. Is this good? I've gotten plenty of them. People know that I'm into sports cards, so I don't mind answering questions. I don't mind helping. And again, this is the reason why I'm doing this. Because then I could just say, hey, go check out episode 3. Something like that. So, as I said, been in it for about 6 years. This is what I know. The biggest lesson that I've learned thus far in the 6 years that I've been in the hobby, don't make it about money. Yes, there are people that it's all about money. And don't get me wrong, it is about money to a point for me as well. But there's a lot of things where it's like, you know what? If you're chasing that dollar, you're just going to lose money. I'm telling you that right now. Just collect what you love. If you're a football fan, collect football. If you're a New York Jets fan, collect New York Jets. And there's always going to be that opportunity to make money. If you are going to make this about money, do not rip boxes or get into breaks, because you're only just going to lose money. What you want to do is just buy what you want. Now, don't get me wrong. Listen, there are those times where I've gotten into breaks. I've ripped my own boxes. I literally just ripped 5 boxes right before doing this. I felt like, at least for me, I'm doing it for content, so it's whatever. But the way I look at it is, if you're going to spend $1,000 on a hobby box so that you can pull this card that's priced at 11, 12, maybe under 1,000, why not just go buy that card? I get it. Don't get me wrong. I know the feeling. I know the excitement that you get from opening a box. That's, I get that same feeling, and that's the reason why I still open boxes. But I also changed my whole, the way I look at the hobby. And, I basically have turned it into buying singles. That's my biggest thing, is that I like buying singles now. I've done plenty of flipping, plenty of investing. Am I a millionaire? Absolutely not. Do I feel like I can make money moving forward? I think so. I think I'm getting to that point. But I'm not going to sit here and teach you guys how to do that, because I don't even really, it's still hard for me to do that. So I just want to be able to make it easier for you to be in this hobby and know what's going on, basically. So the beginning of this podcast, a couple of the first couple of episodes are going to just be beginner friendly. Like, hey, this is a definition for this. If you hear this, this is what that means. This, and then it'll transition into interviewing collectors, interviewing LCS owners, breakers, influencers, whatever I can get. But what kind of collector am I? Am I a flipper? Sort of. Am I an investor? Yes. Am I a personal collection collector? Yes. Am I a rip addict? Absolutely. Now let's get into the cards. Now, card companies, licensing, all that, you'll need to know coming into this. So you have card companies like Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, Leaf, Wildcard, Fleer, OPC, Score, Sage, all this stuff. What you need to know right now is Fanatics has the rights to Topps. Topps has the rights and the licensing to NFL, MLB, and the NBA, as well as other sports as well, and other things. But I'm not going to get into that because it's more of a sports card kind of thing. Fanatics bought Topps for $500 million in 2022. The MLB exclusive license went to Fanatics in 2026. The NFL exclusive license went to Fanatics in 2026. NBA exclusive license in 2026. NFLPA exclusive license in 2027. And MLB exclusive license in 2023. Again, that is Fanatics owning Topps, Topps having these sports. Topps was a gum company. In 1938, Topps produced their first baseball card in 1951 and then held the MLB exclusive license from 1951 to 1980 and then again from 2010 to 2025. Mind you, 1952, iconic set. Mickey Mantle, look it up. Panini acquired Donruss in 2009. They acquired the NBA and NFL licenses in 2009 and 2016. They also owned WNBA, WWE, F1. They essentially created the case hit, and we will get into that later on. Upper Deck held the MLB license from 1989 to 2009, currently holds the exclusive NHL and collegiate license company, but lost the NFL and NBA licenses in the 2000s. Leaf, originally part of Donruss in the 80s and the early 90s, they went dormant after losing the MLB license and then reemerged as its own company under new ownership after that. Wildcard was founded in the early 1990s, doesn't have any exclusive rights, focuses on basically individual player rights, particularly for prospects and rookies. You have other ones like Fleer, OPC, Score, and Sage. Those are all a part of, except for Sage. Sage is his own thing. But Fleer, you don't see much of. OPC is still in Upper Deck. And Score was with Panini, and I believe it might be in Topps now, but don't quote me on that. The licensing is a big thing, mainly because let me preface this. Licensing is a huge thing in terms of value. If you do plan on flipping or whatnot. When it comes to licensing, certain players are going to be in certain sets. Team logos and team names are in licensed products and are not in unlicensed products. So what I mean by that is because Topps owns Bowman is now part of Fanatics and Topps, you get the Red Sox logo and the Red Sox name. If this was unlicensed, if this was a Panini card, a Panini baseball card, there would not be the Red Sox logo. The Red Sox logo will not be on the jersey, and you wouldn't see Boston Red Sox. You would just see Boston, and it would be a blank jersey, just with their colors, basically. So that is basically licensing rights, and it affects value because of just the look of the card. You're basically, it's a blank card. A blank jersey. They are weird looking, and I don't like unlicensed stuff. That's just me. That is other people as well. But that's not here nor there. Again, that's your prerogative. If you want to have unlicensed stuff like Leaf and stuff like that, by all means, that's up to you. It's your collection. You just need to know that the value isn't going to be there compared to licensed product. When it comes to cards, what are these products? Where can you find some of these cards in terms of boxes? So we have fat packs or value packs, as one would say. You have hanger boxes. You have blaster/value boxes. You got mega boxes. There's hobby boxes. There's jumbo boxes. There's Breakers Delight boxes. So these are fat packs, as they once were called. Now they're kind of like, they call them value packs. So you're going to get like 10 to 20 cards or so in these packs. Usually, you're not going to see anything huge out of it, but, there have been some times where huge things have come out of these, but these are your fat packs. So these are blasters, or now Fanatics is trying to change them into value boxes. So this is what you would get. You would see, a bunch of cards, cheaper on the price range, but like this one, 60 total cards, 6 packs, 10 cards per pack. It is same in this one. So this is your value/blaster boxes. This is what they call a mega box. So you're going to get, in this box specifically, you're getting 7 cards per pack, 6 packs per box. So you're also looking at these mega exclusive cards that only come in this box. So these are just some of the things that you would get out of a mega. And, your chances of pulling a big card potentially are higher than it would be in a value pack, in a value box, or hangers, or fat packs. But it is on the cheaper end, and these are the boxes that you can find in a retail store. And this is your hobby box. So in this one specifically, Bowman 2026, you're getting 1 autographed card in this box. Also, you're getting 20 packs per box and 8 cards per pack. So this is the Mac Daddy of them all. Hobbies, jumbos, and Breakers Delight. These are the higher priced. Hobby boxes are on the lower end of the 3 of them, the Delight and the jumbos. But these are the boxes that you're going to get at a hobby store, online, and these are the ones that will have the big cards in them. You may not, I can open this box right now and I may not hit anything. I may not even crack how much I paid for the box and break even. But that's the gamble of it. That's the fun of it. And this is your hobby box. There's a big difference. So now, in terms of retail is what you're going to see in stores like Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart, Target, etc. These are going to be the boxes that you would find in those kind of stores. Fat packs, hanger boxes, blaster and value boxes, mega boxes. Those are the boxes that you'll see in those stores. If you want a higher end box where you're going to most likely find more of the bigger, higher end cards, you have to either go to an LCS, or you would have to go to, any of these companies' websites, or, there are secondary market websites like Blowout Cards, Dave and Adams, Steel City, websites like that. Another difference between retail and hobby, there is a much lower chance of getting a big valuable card out of those boxes. When it comes to hobby boxes, jumbo boxes, and Breakers Delight, you have a better chance of pulling that stuff. Not to say that you can't pull any big stuff out of retail, and not to say that you're going to pull anything big out of a hobby, jumbo, or Breakers Delight. You can skunk a hobby box. You can hit something huge out of a retail box that you spent $25 on. There's a chance. The chances are smaller, but there's a chance. Now, again, where can you buy any of these cards? Where can you buy these boxes? Local card stores, LCSs. That's what I meant by LCS. You can go and get into breaks. You can go on Whatnot, which you would be getting into breaks if you're going on Whatnot. Fanatics Live, eBay Live, retail stores like Target, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, etc. You can buy cards on auction houses, Golden Auction, Fanatics Collect, Heritage Auctions, Pristine Auctions, Robert Edward Auctions, places like that. What is breaking? What I mean by breaking or breaks. Breaking is where a person or company buys boxes of cards and then sets up what we call a break. Now you have a box, say it's a football box. We'll say football. There's 32 teams. So now you're going to have 32 spots, they call it. You're buying in for a spot in that box. So whether it's a random team break, a pick your team, PYT, or a pick your player, there's different things. PYT will be different because you'll have a fixed price for a team and you're buying a team. Random team breaks is where you're basically you're bidding for a spot and then you're picked randomly a team. Now, when you get a team, say you get the Dallas Cowboys, you end up pulling, whether it's you bought or you pulled in a random team break, any Dallas Cowboy that comes out of those boxes that are in that break, you end up getting. So if you end up, you're in on a Topps Chrome box break on Whatnot. You pull the Dallas Cowboys, and then all of a sudden, you end up pulling a Dak Prescott autographed card. That is your card. And you got that card for however much you paid for that team. So that's, there's that feeling of gambling. There's that risk and reward. That's what makes breaking fun. There's an entertainment aspect. But you also have to be careful. Again, there are these breaks that people get into, and you could be losing money. You have to be aware of that. So that's where, if you're a beginner, you're getting into breaks, yes, it's fun, but be careful. That's all I say. What is grading? Now, grading is a huge part of this hobby. And there is some big news when it comes to grading that I'll just have to bring up at a different time, or even maybe I'll make a little video for social media. Why do people grade? People grade cards for that protection, that authentication, and the value, basically. There is a much bigger value when it comes to graded cards versus raw cards. So, again, this is a raw card, a base card, raw card, whatever. Now, in terms of your graded card, this is what it looks like. This is a PSA graded card, and it is a PSA 10 Gem Mint. You have other grading like SGC. Now, when it comes to these, and this kind of goes along with what I was saying before, there's big news when it comes to grading. Collectors who owns PSA has also bought SGC and Beckett, so you have to be aware of that. Now, the PSA dominance in value is huge. You can have a PSA 10 of a card and you can have a SGC 10 of a card, and it's a much bigger difference. So you have to know that as well when it comes to value. But people look at different grading companies as experts in certain cards. So SGC was looked at as like the vintage card slab. People like the way it looks. It gives it like that. They call it a tuxedo. Gives it that tuxedo look, that black, slick, you know, kind of pop for the card kind of look. And the biggest thing was SGC was a quick turnaround. You could send a card in to get graded and get it back that next week or the week after. PSA right now, I have cards that have been in there since January, and I have still yet to get it. It is May 31st. So again, you need to know this. And then also the fact that they were that backlogged, also owning Beckett and SGC, you need to understand that those are probably backlogged as well. So Beckett, you get like these subgrades. People like them. They're better for thick cards. They're a little bit more lenient on the thick cards. CGC looked. They're basically the Pokemon, graded cards, but PSA is still king when it comes to everything. The companies you have are PSA, SGC, Beckett, CGC, Tag, Arena Club grades their cards, AGS, Ace Grading, Degree Grading. So these are all your companies to get graded. Again, you get them in a slab like this, and you know that if it's a PSA 10, you know that the condition is perfect. And you know that if I drop this card, it's still going to be fine. It's not going to break or anything like that. So that is peace of mind, I would say. Now, I wanted to get into some vocabulary that I know when I first got in, there was a lot of things that people were saying, or what I saw on social media in terms of like Twitter or Instagram when trying to buy a card, Facebook, what have you. There are a lot of things that I just didn't understand, and I was like, what does that mean? So I'm going to go through a bunch of them. Comps. Comps mean comparables. So that's basically I'm looking to buy a 2006 Topps Chrome Alex Rodriguez Black Refractor. PSA 10. So now if I'm at a card show and I see this card, I like it. It's priced at $150. Now I'm going to look at my comps to see what this card sold for previously, or what it's even up, if there's, if it's up on eBay for whatever price. I want to see what that's. So basically, if I see that, this card has sold previously 110, 100, 120, 90, 85, whatever, I'm looking to be around that price. So I'm looking to be around $100 to $110. So if he has it at 150, the fact that I looked at my comps and I saw that it's nowhere near 150, I'm going to bring him down. And if he doesn't, if he wants to sell it at 150, then you know what? I'm walking away, because I'm not overpaying for a card that has previously sold for all these lower numbers. So that's why comps are huge when, especially at card shows. When you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you see a card up for sale that someone's trying to sell, and they put OBO, that is or best offer. If you see PWE, that means plain white envelope. If you see BMWT, that's bubble mailer with tracking. What is a slab? Slab is a graded card. It's just a slang for a graded card. Base card. Base card is the most common card in the set. So you would see something like this. This is a base card. No color. This is just, there's no numbered. There's no, visual aspect to it. It's just a regular card that you would find in the set no matter what. Insert. Insert is common, but it has unique themes or designs. This is an insert in the 2025 Topps Chrome Football. This is Legends of the Gridiron, Cam Chancellor. These are cards that they're common. You'll see them a lot, but they're not that base set. So there you go. Case hit. Case hit would be something like this. It's an uncommon card that comes out once a case. So if you're looking at a case of boxes, you get 12 boxes in a case. The fact that out of all those boxes and out of all those packs that were in that case, this only came out once. So it makes value huge and demand huge when it comes to that. So that's why case hits are a big thing in the hobby. Short print and super short print. They're uncommon cards that are harder to come by, therefore making that technically the case hit. Parallel. It's special, rarer version than a base. It'll usually have some visual enhancements like holographic finish or color or even a special border. So now this right here is a parallel. It is numbered. It's purple. There you go. And basically, the reason why I say it's a parallel. Now, if you were to find the base card of that, it's the same exact card, just base. So now this is the same exact card as that base card, just with a color. And this is actually a Mega Box Mojo, exclusive, and it's numbered. So that's what you're looking for in terms of that. RPA, it is Rookie Patch Auto. So that would be something like this. It's a rookie card, there's a patch to it, and it's autographed. When you hear auto, that means autographed card. PC, when you hear someone say, I PC this, it's considered personal collection. So that's also, anything, for me, it'd be like Alex Rodriguez, Tony Romo, Dak Prescott, what have you. Top loader. Top loaders are big when it comes to the hobby. Top loaders and, just stuff like that will protect your card for the time being if or ever if you want to grade or whatnot. This is a top loader. Plastic, kind of rigid. It'll definitely protect your card. Not to the fullest, but it'll protect it from just little things, dings, scratches, what have you. Penny sleeve. Now, penny sleeve also is a big piece to keeping your card safe. This, basically, you put your card in this, and then you put this in the top loader, give you that extra protection. A one-touch. One-touch is also basically the same thing, just more rigid and more, basically harder than a top loader. But it's magnetic, and it keeps your card safe. This card is in a one-touch. Behind this sticker, there's a magnet. Basically, you place the card in, you close it, and obviously it's magnetized, and it stays closed. Also, there's no movement. The card's not moving in there, so there's no reason why it should be dinged or what have you. Serial number. It's a card that is numbered, for example, 10 out of 150. That means it's the 10th card on print out of 150 of those cards. So for instance, this card is 95 out of 299. This purple parallel has 299 versions of this card per player. So this is the 95th card out of that 299. Jersey number card, you'll hear people say. It's a card that is numbered in the same as the player's number. So, for instance, it's a Tom Brady 12 out of 25. That's his jersey number, 12. Therefore, it has a little bit more value. Junk wax era. You'll hear people say that a lot. The junk wax era was from basically 1986 to 1994. And in terms of the junk wax era, it was card manufacturers overproducing and destroying financial value in the hobby, basically. You'll hear people say Pop Report. Pop Report, and I'll show you the Alex Rodriguez card, Pop Report. But with PSA, there is a QR code on the back, and that will take you to their population report. That means how many of this card was graded with this grade. I could tell you right now, if this was a Pop 1, the value, the fact that this card, there's only one graded a 10, the value would make that a lot bigger. The more population that you have in that grade, the less valuable that card is because you can find it anywhere, is what it means, basically. Raw, as I said before, Raw is a card that is not graded. This is a card that comes out of a pack that is not graded. You would put this in a penny sleeve and then into the top loader. And then wax. If you hear people say wax, nowadays wax means it's a box of cards. I hope that gave you some kind of aspect of, learning the little ins and outs, the easy parts of the hobby to have some kind of knowledge going into it. If you have not been in the hobby and you're trying to get into the hobby, I hope this helped. If you are in the hobby and still, didn't know much, I hope this helped. And I will continue that episode after episode. I want people to ask me questions, and I will bring them up on the next episode. Again, it's the hobby. People love the hobby, and the hobby's growing. And I want people to know that I'm here for them, that if they need any help, to DM, comment, whatever. But I'll keep coming up with some stuff to bring up for the next episodes. Hopefully, we get like 5 learning episodes, and then we could turn this into a regular hobby podcast where, I'm just talking news and talking about things that are happening in the hobby, talk about, my card show ventures and this and that, who I'm collecting. I'm just so you know, I'm never going to sit here and tell you who to collect, when to invest in someone, or anything like that, because I'm not going to spend people's money, is basically what I'm getting at. But you can always ask me questions. I'm always here for that. But that will do it. I feel pretty confident in this episode. It's better than the first time that I recorded this first episode. So the fact that I got it down, I felt good about it. You'll be seeing this. I'm going to try to get an episode every week between this and running up the score. Check me out. I'm out. Be breezy.